Good day, friends. Welcome to another episode of Leaders Arise. Sincerely, I must appreciate you for your always coming on this platform to learn leadership together with me. I'm not taking it for granted. Thank you for streaming from whatever platform it is you are streaming from today. And of course, thank you for your feedbacks. Thank you for the comments, and thank you for following. All right, every now and then. I want to appreciate you. God bless you. I want to welcome you to today's episode of Leaders Arise. And I will be rounding up the life-changing discussion we began about 2 episodes ago, which was titled Delegation Strategies. All right, you may want to go back to a previous broadcast so that you can get to come along with us and catch up with what we've been discussing over the episode, over 2 episodes ago. And so today I'll be rounding it up. And my job today is very simple. I want to teach you about how you can succeed with delegation. So you may want to call it succeeding with delegation. Don't forget we began by talking about multitasking. And the last episode we spoke about knowing what to delegate and what not to delegate. Then of course today I want to teach you, like I said, on how you can succeed with delegation. Because one of the fears in the heart of leaders or maybe individuals is that, what if I delegate and the job fails? What if I ask him to do it for me or with me, as the case may be, and he couldn't just perform, or he didn't just perform up to expectation, or the job gets messy? Now everybody always has that fear, all right? And that is what is keeping a lot of people from delegating. If I will give you about 2 or 3 reasons why people don't delegate. Number 1 is the fear of failure. All right? That if I should delegate, I'm not sure whether I can do it very well. Well, I'll be explaining some things around that. You can never be sure that somebody will do something well until you give them the opportunity to do it. Whatever it is you are doing well today, also somebody gave you a chance to try it out, and sometimes you failed, or you didn't do up to expectation, and the person kept on cheering you on, and you have become who you are today. So you need to debunk that fear. All right? You need to debunk that fear. The fear of failure, the fear of the job not being done the way you want it to be done, all right? Or the job being done perfectly. And that's why I believe that perfectionists always have problem with delegation. All right? Who are perfectionists? Some of them, you can call them melancholic people, all right? They have problem with delegating because they are perfectionists. What do I mean by perfectionism? It means that they always want something to be done perfectly. And one of the realities you have to face in delegation is sometimes when you delegate, you have to admit that the job may not be done to your taste. May not. I don't say it will not. It may not. But let it be that at least the job is done to a particular standard of excellence. Excellence must not be traded for wanting to delegate, but just admit the fact that the job may not be done, all right, to the level that you actually want it to be done. So if you are a perfectionist, you may have to shift ground. Excuse me. You may have to shift ground as far as this delegation thing is concerned. Because the reason why some people are not succeeding at delegating is because they always want something to be done perfectly. In fact, in some cases, they want the job to be done the way they will have done it. Listen to me. Your delegatee, meaning the person you delegate work to, may not do it the way you will have done it. But let it be that he did it well. That to me is what is most important. So if you are the type that always insists on your way, always insists on the way and the how you want something to be done, you may not succeed at delegating. I've seen some people, perfectionists precisely, when they give job to somebody to do, after the person submitted it to them, they go ahead to redo it. In the name of, I'm just trying to check. I'm just trying to correct, to balance. So they end up changing everything again. And they did it. So they have done two things. Number one, they have killed the morale of the delegatee. They have made him feel that he can't do anything right. Then number two, they have just wasted their time. We have wasted the time of the delegatee. You have also wasted your own time because the time you didn't want to spend, you have eventually ended up spending it. So for you to succeed at delegating, you must quit the fear of failure, the fear of stuff not being done the way you love it to be done or the way you would have done it. The other reason why people don't delegate is this idea that they are supermen or superwomen, as the case may be. Some people have this idea that nobody is like me. I'm a superman. I can do so many things. Can I announce to you very quickly? You are not super the way you think you are. You are not omnipotent. It's only God that is omnipotent, all powerful. Because some people have this wrong assumption or this assumption about themselves. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Read that by scripture in context. You can do all things through Christ that strengthens you does not mean that you should do everything. So don't have this false understanding or idea that you are a superman, you are a superwoman, you are all right, you are all powerful, you are all knowing. It's only God that is omnipotent, it's only God that is omniscient. You are not omni at all. And you've got to agree with that. Exactly. The third reason why people don't delegate is that they want to feel that they are the brain behind whatever is working in their leadership. They don't have what I call a collaborative style of leadership. And leaders like this, they have superiority complex. All right? They want to take all the glory. And they need to understand that leadership is teamwork. You cannot take all the glory. People must share in the shine. They must shine with you. They must glow. They must share in the glory. But if you are the type that always want to share all the glory, you want to be the only reason why stuff are succeeding in your organization or in your family, in your church or around you, you will not succeed at delegating. Because something tells you, if the other guy does it and he does it well and we have the result we are having, I won't have anything to glory of. Leadership is not about you glorying about anything. It's about the work getting done. All right? It's about the work being done at the right time, all right, in the right way, and of course, with the right sense of fulfillment that must be shared across board. So if you are the type that always want to steal the show, steal the shine, get all the glory, you have to stop that because you will not succeed in leadership that way. Nobody is self-made. Nobody is an island of knowledge. All right, leadership functions best when there is collaboration between everybody. Like I told you in some episodes ago, that team actually stands for together, everyone achieve more. So when a leader does not have a together mindset, when they have an individualistic mindset, such a leader cannot succeed at delegating. And that's the number 3 reason why people don't succeed at delegating. Number 4 reason why people don't succeed at delegating, all right, is what I call identity problem or identity crisis. All right? Some people attach their self-worth to what they do. So when you see a leader that has this complex problem, maybe I'll call it that, all right, that if I'm not the one that did it, it means I'm not important. For example, the moment some leaders or some people delegate work to other people, they just feel as if they have taken work from them. And if you are like that, you have a complex problem. You have attached your identity or your sense of worth to what you do. You are not what you do. You are who you are. Nobody can replace you in relevance. You are the senior pastor of the church. The fact that other associates or other people take over this in your church, in your leadership, does not de-emphasize. Actually, it amplifies your effectiveness. Yeah. The other people are getting things done on their own within the leadership should not make you feel less important. Rather, it should make you to become proud that you are such a sound and great leader that right before your very eyes, you can see other egos soaring. You can see other leaders emerging. But if you are egocentric, if you have complex problem, if you have identity problem or crisis, all right, you will not want to delegate because you have attached your sense of importance, sense of worth to what it is you are doing. I've told us before on this broadcast that leadership is most potent when it is silent. People don't see you go up there to do stuff, but things are actually happening. Your leadership is determined by what can be done without you. Did you get what I just said now? The effectiveness of your leadership is defined by what can be done without you. The reason why some leaders cannot take break today is because they have this idea that nothing significant can be done without them. And if you hold on to that mentality, it just means that your leadership will end with you. The moment you die, your leadership dies. The moment you are sick, your leadership becomes truncated. But an effective leader is one that even in his absence, things always happen better. In fact, one of the greatest encouragement and fulfillment I have is to have my folks say in church. I've been a church person for years, for close to 2 decades now. So I always draw most of my examples from church, and I help you to relate it with every area of your life, all right? So I've always had this joy and fulfillment when people tell me, Pastor, wow, you were not around, service, wonderful. All right from campus days, even when I'm pastoring now, people tell me, wow, you were not around, service was awesome. It's my joy. But if you are an insecure leader, all right, you'll be feeling that, wow, they have stolen the show. Nobody is stealing the show. That you are not around and things are even done better. It doesn't mean that those people are better than you. It only confirms your leadership effectiveness. It means that you have trained them so well that they can function at the highest level of functioning in your absence. So if people cannot function effectively in your absence, it means that your presence in and around them is not delivering the best result in terms of effectiveness the way it should. I'm sure you have understood that. Maybe you fall into any of those 4 categories I've mentioned, maybe 5 of them now. Why leaders don't delegate? You are not El Shaddai. You are not omnipotent. You are not omni at all. All right? And you are not the smartest in your organization. Please get this one right. Because leaders have that false impression or understanding about themselves. You are not the smartest. I will say it 1,000,000 times. That you are the MD CEO does not mean you are the smartest. That you are the pastor of the local church does not mean you are the smartest. Or even the most anointed. Well, I hope you'll be the most anointed anyway. But what I mean is you are not the best guy, as it were. You are not the smartest. That you are the dad at home does not mean that you always have the smartest idea. Some of your children can do better than you do. Even your wife can do better. If only you can allow her. I've always told people in our church that my wife teaches better than I do. You know, sometimes when I say that, it looks as if I'm flattering her. I'm just saying the truth. She's more detailed. She's more thorough. I consider her as a better teacher than myself, even though I'm not doing badly anyway. But I have this healthy understanding about myself that I am not the smartest. I am not the most anointed. I'm not the strongest. I'm not the wisest. There are other people in my sphere of leadership, in my sphere of operation, that God has engraced with wisdom, with anointing, with word of you, to make their contribution to whatever it is I'm doing. And the earlier I start realizing that, the better for me, the better for the people, and the better for the leadership. So don't ever forget that you are not the smartest. You are not the most anointed. Some people can do better than you are doing. So if you'll be free enough to give them job to do, knowing fully well that God has brought them around you in your sphere of operation because they have something to contribute. So don't make them redundant. Don't make them irrelevant. Appreciate and recognize the reason for which God has brought them around your sphere of influence and engage them profitably by delegating tasks to them. So let's now go into the body of today's teaching. So how do you succeed at delegating? I'll give you about 4 or 5 principles or 4 or 5 keys to succeeding at delegating. Number 1 of such principle is to understand first of all what delegation is about. Now that might look like, Pastor Demola, you've been saying things about delegation since 2 episodes ago. So what else do I need to understand? I just need to be sure that you really understand what delegation is about. Delegation is not you just giving job for somebody to do. Some say, I've asked him to do it. That's delegation. No. Delegation is not you asking somebody to do what you hate doing. Even though you will get to understand that in delegation, you need to ask yourself, am I good at doing this? Do I like doing it? Does it flow easily with me? Are there other people around me that it flows easily with and they can do it better? That's correct. But I'm saying delegation is not you being tired of a task and you're saying you go and do it. Because sometimes the people around you, they are watching you. They see how you have been avoiding that task. You are just asking them to do what you don't want to do. The purpose of delegation is this. Number 1, that these are the things that are supposed to be done in your leadership. You have looked at it. I have other things I can do or I could have done better. All right. Or I have other areas of expertise. This other person is more gifted in this area. Let him do it. But it is not about you dumping work, if I may use that language, on somebody else's table. Number 1, because you hate doing it. Number 2, because that work appears to be a dirty job. That's not delegation. You are not delegating something to somebody because that work is not attractive. You hate it. It's a dirty part of the operation. Obviously, you will kill the morale of the delegatee. So understand that that is not what delegation is. That is not what delegation is. Delegation also is not you trying to abscond or trying to boycott a responsibility. Because a leader, an effective leader that will succeed at delegation is a responsible leader. So you don't want to be sleeping and say, I've asked him to do it. No, that's not delegation. So delegation is not for the irresponsible. All right? So delegation is not you trying to ask somebody to do something because you don't want to do stuff. You are lazy. Delegation is not for lazy leaders. It's not for irresponsible leaders. It's not for leaders who will not leave their hands to do anything and they want other people to keep doing stuff because they will not want to do anything. So a good wife is not the one that sleeps 24/7 every day or every weekend and asks his daughters or his sons to go and be doing stuff while she's sleeping or watching the TV or they can see laziness. They can see irresponsibility. Because don't forget that you are the best model of excellence and leadership before your followers. If they don't see responsibility in you, they won't take up responsibility. If they don't see you as an active and a go-getter, a dedicated person, they only see you as a lazy person, they will not be motivated to perform at their optimal level. So understand what delegation is. It is not you dumping jobs that you hate, dirty job, median jobs on somebody else's table. It's not you trying to boycott responsibility. It's not you trying to loaf around and asking somebody to do what you would not want to do. So understand what delegation is. Delegation is you engaging other people in the activities of leadership so that the job can be done better, the job can be done faster, and of course, so that they also can get to improve and grow in their leadership. That's number 1 thing. Number 2 principle or key to succeeding at delegation, all right, is to also be a detailed person. Now, for crying out loud, You will not be a successful delegator or a successful leader or an effective leader, all right, who is successful at delegating if you are disorganized. Because some people have a scattered table, just the way I have my table here. Everything is scattered, so they leave everything and say, oh yeah, come and handle this stuff. No. Delegation is not you, all right, trying to ask somebody to come and clear your mess. Delegation is not you trying to tell somebody to come and organize what you have disorganized. Because the way you give job to somebody will determine how they will do it. If your followers or whoever it is around you perceive you as an organized person, they are going to handle that work you are giving them with that level of detail work and organization. But if they see that you are disorganized, they may not even want to do the job. Because they have seen you as somebody who always calls on them to come and clear your mess. So a leader that must succeed at delegating must not be a messy leader, must not be a disorganized leader, must not be a disjointed leader, must be a leader that is organized, that is detailed, that is clear. Number 3, because of my time, to succeed at delegation, let there be clarity in what you are delegating and in what you are expecting from the delegatee. This is perhaps one of the biggest problems in delegation. People give jobs for other people to do without explaining what exactly it is to be done. So they leave the delegatee either confused, trying to wrap his brain around what it is to be done, or they allow the delegatee to go and waste his or her time only for him or her to come back and the leader say, this is not what I asked you to do. So if you want to succeed at delegation, don't be in a hurry to pass the ball to the delegatee. Ensure you are clear. Ensure you simplify the job. Ensure you allow the person understand what it is you want him to do and what it is you are expecting from the delegatee. So you are going to be clear. Clarity and simplicity are the rule of the game. Number 4, very quickly, to succeed at delegation, you have got to educate. You have got to educate. I believe that one of the reasons why people don't succeed at delegation is that they just start to delegate without educating. Or you want to call without training. Because you can leave this broadcast now and say, oh, I want to start delegating. Don't rush. Train your people first. You want to delegate sweeping to your daughter at home. Train her on how to sweep. Train her on how to sweep. You want to delegate preaching or whatever it is to your associate in church. Train them. Educate them. Let them understand what the work is about. Let them understand how the work works. So when you train them and educate them, you will stand a better chance at succeeding with delegating. Number 5, because of time, supervise, but don't micromanage. What do I mean by this? Don't delegate job to people and just leave them to it. Let there be room for feedback. Supervise. Once in a while, check, all right, on the delegatee. How is the work doing? It can be in an office space as the MD, CEO, principal, governor, whatever. Once in a while, stand up from your table, walk around your delegatee or your associate or whoever is working with you. Just check on what they are doing. Don't just delegate job and go and sleep and allow them to be battling with it, because when you supervise, you are able to come in wherever they are having challenges. You can quickly help them wherever or when necessary, or you can even provide motivation and encouragement for them to keep doing it. But don't just delegate and go and sleep. Supervise. But most importantly, don't micromanage. What does that mean? Some of us perfectionists, we have that challenge. When somebody is when you delegate job to somebody, you want to be micromanaging the person. You are not allowing that person the freedom to do the job. You are always asking them, always supplying them answer, always doing for them what you ask them to do. That's not delegation. Always doing for them what you ask them to do. All right, you are micromanaging them. You are thinking for them. Because one of the things that delegation will achieve is to free your people to think. It frees them to act But when you are delegating to people and you are thinking for them, you are acting for them, you are not going to succeed at delegating. Sometimes associates of your people come around and ask you questions, things you know and things you have answers to. You may want to tell them, go and think. All right, or what do you think? All right, or what are you thinking? Or what's your idea about? Or what would you do if you were given freedom to do it? All right, so don't always be tempted, all right, to supply them thoughts, to supply them answers. Allow them the freedom. Sometimes the answers may not come readily to them, but you are going to give them the liberty to go tap into their untapped potential, generate ideas, take initiative, make decisions. And of course, since you have described the job for them, you have told them your expectation, you can be very sure that they won't act in a way that negates the overall vision of the organization. And the last but not the least, as I begin to tidy up today, is this: never delegate in your absence what you have not delegated in your presence. This is perhaps one of the most important statements you would ever hear in today's episode of Leaders Arise. Never delegate in your absence what you have not delegated in your presence. Some leaders make these big mistakes. All right, they delegate in their absence what they have not delegated in their presence. What do I mean? Never ask somebody to do what he has not done while you are with him. Never ask somebody to do in your absence what he has not done in your presence. Never ask your elder daughter or older daughter to take care of her siblings when she has not done that in your presence. Don't tell her to serve, or to serve the food, or to cook, or to sweep the floor, what she has not done in your absence. That is another recipe for disaster. That is another recipe for outcomes that are undesirable. It's only on some very few occasions that people do stuff that they have not done in your presence, in your absence, and they do it well. So what am I actually saying with this point? Don't wait until you are absent before you start delegating. So great leaders, effective leaders, they make delegation a part of their everyday affair as far as leadership is concerned. They don't wait until they are sick before they ask somebody to do their job or to do job for them. They don't wait until they are dead, God forbid. They don't wait until they travel. They don't wait until they want, they don't wait until they are absent. So what does that mean? While you are around, allow your followers to act. While you are at home as a woman at home, allow your daughter to sweep. While you are at home as the dad, allow your son to wash the car. Allow your son to do the laundry. While you are at home as a pastor, allow your associate to preach or to take some slot. While you are around as the MD or as the boss, allow your associate or your employee to coordinate meetings. Because whether you like it or not, there are some meetings that must be held in your absence, but ensure that you don't wait until when you are absent before such a thing happens. It's not every time you enter a meeting and you be the one to coordinate. I do that a lot in my leadership. I just sit down, allow my assistant, my vice president, or wherever to coordinate meetings, all right? Because I want to see what they are doing right in my presence. I need you to understand these principles, all right, of effective delegation, because if you don't live by them, you will end up delegating without the necessary or the expected results. So I'm sure that today's broadcast has been a blessing to you. I don't know about you. I'm really blessed. I'm inspired learning about the principles or the secrets of effective delegation. Don't forget those 5 things I told you. You may want to go over the broadcast again, and of course get back to me in case you have questions, you have clarifications, you have feedback, and whatever it is you want me to clarify for you. Thank you for joining me in today's episode of Leaders Arise. I encourage you to help me share this broadcast across all your social media platforms. If you have not liked the Facebook page that you are streaming from, please go right there and like it and follow it. Then if you are on YouTube also, help us subscribe to that YouTube channel. Then of course, if it's on MixLR, do well to follow the MixLR page. Our resources are being scrolled on the screen already. I want you to avail yourself of the opportunity to get life-changing resources that will equip you for better results in life and leadership. Till I meet with you again on the next episode of Leaders Arise, I challenge you to go right there and delegate for effectiveness. You will succeed. Bye for now.